Salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Welcome everybody to the Safina Society Nothing But Facts live stream on Wednesday, day number 8 of fasting. Am I right? Or 7? Day number 7 of this month of Ramadan. Okay. In which the news yesterday, in the Muslim world related affairs were Hamza Yusuf, not the Hamza Yusuf, of course. Unlike one of the Arab media outlets wrote and put a picture of Sheikh Hamza Yusuf, which got everyone laughing, right? That they put a picture of Sheikh Hamza Yusuf and said the new head of Scotland. So he is actually the first minister now, Muslim minister of Scotland. Okay, but I actually thought he was only the health minister for a while. Now he's the actual minister, so I missed out on that. So that's one story, and we could read that. Michaela Community School in Wembley is preventing Muslim pupils from praying. That's sort of another story. I don't know if we want to get into that. Uganda, I'm not going to get into that because I'm done with a certain group of people. I'm not talking about them for a long time. I want to see what's going to happen if we don't talk about them for a long time.
Oh, are we thinking about the same people?
Yeah, the alphabets. Yeah, I want to know what would happen. Like, what would our... Probably. Because I'm just wondering, A man charged with attempted murder, we read about that last week. Okay, so he's been charged. All right? He has been charged. So let's start reading about Scotland's new president. They call them ministers, but it's president, essentially. Same.
Yeah, it's a very, very high office.
Very high. Well, it's the highest, right, in the land.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that the party, the people in the UK would know better. This party's not, they're not becoming the majority anytime soon, but he's a leader of a major party.
Okay.
But, if they were in a majority, then he would be the prime minister.
Okay. Oh, I see. So he has defeated rivals Kate Forbes and Ash Reagan to become the leader. Oh, he's the leader of his party.
Yeah.
Which means that he will almost certainly become the first minister tomorrow.
Right.
What's the difference between first minister and prime minister?
It's one is the majority and one is the opposition.
The minority leader, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like Pelosi.
All right, he's a 37-year-old. Okay. He's the first Muslim to lead a major UK party and is set to be confirmed as the first ethnic minority leader of a devolved government on Tuesday. He defeated Miss Forbes by a score of 52-48 in the second round. Was this the playoffs or something? With Yusuf receiving 26,302 votes and Miss Forbes only receiving 23,890 votes. So only 500,000 people voted. No, I mean, not even 50,000 people voted. People don't vote.
Yeah.
During the election campaign, Yusuf took several positions, okay, that may have contradicted his faith. Yes. But he also called himself a proud Muslim. Also said that his faith will not be the basis by which he legislates. Now listen to this. When the Mongols took over and they entered Islam, all right, their beliefs were wacky. You know that?
Yeah.
Their beliefs were insane, the Mongols. Mongols their beliefs were all over the place. But they claimed to be Muslims, right? So we have something similar in politics in the West. And I'll tell you why it's not exactly exciting for me, but it is in one sense. Number one, people who are out on the outside looking in and they're seeing they don't know what Muslims are like. And now they see this kind of thing. They see a Muslim, that's all they see. They don't see a Muslim who contradicts his faith, right? We got to keep that in mind. That not everyone views things the way we do, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may bring something to people in a way that is not Allah is not bound by following any Sharia, right? So the ways by which Allah may bring benefit to the world may be forbidden for us to do, but Allah can still bring benefit to the world through that. So that's the one part of it that you have to take into account. Is that a lot of people out there, they're just seeing a Muslim. Like a Muslim is ruling Scotland now, or he's a minister of Scotland. Okay? So you gotta keep that in mind. And that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also maybe having a wisdom for that crowd of people. Okay? Whereas for us, we would say, oh no, he contradicted the deen in many ways and we're against it. Okay, fine. That's for us. Now, what part of it does not excite me very much is that you have entire Islamic Muslim countries with the entire government is Muslim. And it doesn't do anything because actual reform requires the entire group. So there's bala that falls down, that is bala am, is general calamity. And one individual cannot alter a general calamity. General calamity that befalls a nation, befalls an ummah, is only retorted or pushed back, okay, by a general tawbah. That's a rule. You hear that rule, Oz? General calamities that befall the ummah. It's not going to be pushed back by one righteous person or two righteous people, right? It's going to be pushed back only by a ummah-wide tawbah. That's a big difference, right? That's an important thing. So I don't ever think that things are going to change, right? Things are not going to change. But individuals may get inspired. And right, as I said, we are viewing, when we view a Muslim, because we're in Islam all day, we're reading books all day, we may view something as totally off. But some people are viewing things from 50,000 feet out. They just see a Muslim. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may bring His wisdom, however, He may bring a benefit in any way that He wants. That doesn't mean we're allowed to do that or rule by it. And this is a very important part of fatwa, by the way. In the mutawalat, they probably mention this. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the power, has the ability, has the haqq to bring about a benefit however He wants. But just because a benefit came from something forbidden does not alter our law. It's just so important. I can't tell you how many times I see people tell me, is this halal? No, it's not halal. But he did it. And you're saying it's haram, but he did it. Yes, that's true. And so many people benefited from it. That's true too. I recognize that. For example, like, I think a lot of people benefited from the World Cup being in Qatar.
Right.
A lot of people, I mean, I just shared the picture with, the post with, what's his name? Ibrahimovic. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite entertainers. He's an entertainer. I don't view him only as a soccer player, but what's his first name? Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Zlatan Ibrahimovic is one of the he's one of the best entertainers you're going to find out there. That's number one. But he had a great post. He loved Qatar, right? He loved it. He said everything about it was awesome, right? That doesn't mean it was halal what they did, right? So something may be haram. To spend billions of dollars on a sport, this is haram for us in our religion. There's no doubt. There's not even a discussion, okay? But number two, so just because a wisdom comes out of it, benefit comes out of it, the ruling doesn't change. And this is the rule for the faqih and the mufti. You don't change the rule of Allah because you saw a benefit come out of it. You confirm both. You say, yes, it's haram. Number one, yes, it is sinful to do that. It remains to be sinful. And yes, Allah may ta'ala have chosen to derive a benefit out of it. Okay? He may have chosen to derive a benefit out of it, even though it's sinful. What else? There was a guy who used to go into nightclubs and he used to talk to people in nightclubs about Islam, and they would enter Islam. This is a true story. Does that mean it's halal now to do that? No. He did something haram. He benefited people by it, right? So we separate between how Allah brings His benefits to creation and what is halal and haram. You have to make that line. We have to observe halal and haram. Allah doesn't observe it. He may use, and this is a hadith of the Prophet. Allah Ta'ala may give nasr. Inna Allah la yansuru hadha ad-din bil-rajul al-fajr. This is a hadith. Double confirming and clarifying what we're saying here. Inna Allah la yansuru hadha ad-din bil-rajul al-fajr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give victory to this deen. That means the name of Islam will spread. The word of Islam will spread. Bil-rajul. Is boxing is the most haram sport? It's clearly haram.
Yeah.
You're hitting the face. But besides hitting all the other parts of the body, it's haram too. Like you cannot play a sport where you injure other people on purpose, even if both sides consent. Okay. Number two, the name Muhammad in the 20th century spread far and wide because of whom? The boxer Muhammad Ali. So this is somebody. Now I'm not saying he's a fajr, but that we're saying that the ruling in Islam is this is forbidden. Yet we see out of that come this immense benefit where the name Muhammad spread, Islam spread. He became one of the best faces to the modern world of what a Muslim is, right? Well, who's going to deny that? What Muslim out there is not proud? And I was one time sick. In 2014, I was extremely sick. Could not believe how sick I was. But one day I started feeling a little bit better. I just spent from about, when everyone slept, I was, you know when you're sick and there's no day and night. When you're sick, you're just like totally, everything's mixed up. Must have been like from 12 to like 2 in the morning. I think I watched every single Muhammad Ali video on YouTube. You can't not love the man, right? So Allah Ta'ala brings his benefit however he wants. Through someone doing something halal, something good, something bad. By Sharia standards, haram. So don't confuse though that this allows us to do it. We are bound by Allah's law. Allah may elevate the name of Islam or some other benefit by a person who is a complete fajr. I'm telling you, and we're sitting here in New Jersey. Okay, right. What I've seen two people. Now I know this is going to bother some of the sisters, which it's fine. I have no problem with any criticism, but I've seen two guys. They entered Islam. The language they were saying, I know exactly they got it from Andrew Tate. I know exactly what they were saying, who they were listening to, from the words that they were saying, the message they were saying. It's from Andrew Tate. So, but he's this, that, and the other. Say everything you want. Say it all. I have no problem with it. If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. But one thing that is happening is that some people actually learned about Islam from him and became Muslim. Now, give it 5 years, their life will be one way, completely different from it was now, right? And his life may change, may not. Okay, that's up to him. So you have to understand this is extremely important distinction that we're making here, and that's the way this is like an Islamic news analysis. This is how we would analyze news from a lens of Islam. Is that halal and haram is one thing. That's for us to follow. How Allah Ta'ala wants to elevate the name of Islam or the face of or the image of Muslims, and also keep in mind there are people out there. Keep in mind all the people out there who don't know anything about the details that we talk about, where that someone says is a practicing Muslim, not a practicing Muslim. They just eat Muslim. That's it. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. All right, and that's how I view any Muslim rising in the West in any way, shape, and form. That's how I view it. All right. Well, did you guys want to show something? You guys were playing around with.
Yeah.
Do you want to show that video?
It's up to you. If it's kind of a crazy video.
We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, the Nashville video.
Do I want to talk about it? No, I'm going to start my fast from today. I'm going to start my fast. You agree with that fast?
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm done with them. I'm not talking about it. Okay. Listen to this. Abu Marwan leaves a message for 5 pillars. You guys call a secular Taghut Muslim who rules by kufr, man-made laws. Okay? You guys at 5 pillars seriously need to go learn Islam, Tawheed, Kufr, Shirk. All of them. Guys, they're just reporting a story. That's all they're doing. Okay.
Can you explain this terminology of
What?
like Taghut and then
Taghut.
Wala, Bara? Like these type of, like, alhamdulillah, I was shielded from this.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it, like, you know, we didn't live in a place where it was very takfiri and stuff like that. But I always hear this stuff, and I've always wondered, like, what's the precise definition
Sure.
of these by our standards and by what they consider?
Okay. What is a Taghut? A Taghut has a couple different definitions by the ulama. One of them is an oppressor. Someone who a ruler who oppresses the people. The other one is the ruler who is a kafir. That's another one. So it went from anything that transgresses the boundaries of Sharia to the oppressive ruler. And mostly when in speech and in the books, when they refer to the word Taghut, they mean the oppressive ruler, Muslim or not. That's Taghut. Okay? Comes from Tughyan. What is Wala and Bara? Wala is loyalty. It's loyalty. And the Muslim is never forbidden to support a kafir over a Muslim. Okay? He's never allowed to do that.
Oh, he's never allowed.
You're never allowed to join the army of the kuffar to fight Muslims. Ever. You can't join the US Army, British Army, Canadian Army, and go fight Afghans or Iraqis who are Muslims, right? So that would be forbidden for us to do. That doesn't mean you have to agree with them, and it doesn't mean that your support for them is to support everything they say. So you very well may be able to criticize and educate them or command the right and forbid the wrong, but you do not support the non-believer over the kafir, right? Or the non-believer over the Muslim, I mean. Okay, so that's wala. And bara is dissociation. If someone, let's say, works for NBC or something like that, and their colleague, their friend, says something politically incorrect, what do they have to do? They have to, in some way, shape, and form, officially cut ties. That's bara. So let's see an example. Khalid bin Walid, the Prophet ﷺ, went in Mecca and he wanted to make peace with Mecca. He told everyone, no killing. Khalid bin Walid got into a skirmish, he killed. Okay? So, but he killed in the wrong. Like, was not right the way he killed. So what did the Prophet ﷺ say? The Prophet announced out loud, Allah and His messengers have dissociated from the action of Khalid bin Walid. We're bara from that. Okay? That's bara. Okay? We are innocent from this. We're free from this. We dissociate. So that's what bara is. Make sense?
Yeah, but like, why have these terms, like the way that you've explained it,
Yeah.
you know, very simple. But why is it like that these terms are like, I don't know how to describe it. I don't want to say like Salafized,
Yeah.
but sometimes they feel like they're Salafized terms.
Yeah, so they use that a lot because they believe, and I think they use it correctly most of the time. You have to have bara from an innovator. You have to have bara from like a scholar who's speaking with bid'ah. Heretical sects, we believe that too. If someone comes and negates a qat'i from the deen, a qat'i means explicit text from the religion. We're going to have bara from him too, right? All right, in other news, this guy, Bobby's story, what was it called? What does he call his channel? Bobby's Perspective has become a Muslim. Well, that's great news. Okay. He is an internet star, I guess you could say. Is he really an internet star or just in our circle, in our little world? He's a YouTuber. He's a big-time YouTuber, Christian YouTuber from Norway, actually. Isn't he from Norway?
No, he's Balkan.
Where is he from? Like Macedonia? Oh, I thought he was from like Scandinavia. Oh, okay. He's Balkan. So he's Balkan, and he ends up becoming a Muslim, and he has a very interesting, saying that he said the other day. Um, he said that his entire friends have cut him off. His family has cut him off.
They're all Orthodox, like extreme Orthodox.
Everyone has cut him off. Okay, so goes to show. And one thing I liked what he said. You know what I said? I liked what he said when he said that. He said, "I didn't become Muslim because it was something nice and enjoyable. I wanted it because it's the truth, whether I like it or not. That's what I'm looking for. The truth, whether I like it or not." So he puts a post up here, right? And he says that no one's approved of him. His family has cut him off and has been extremely difficult for him. But this is an important feature here, and that's what separates intellect from the nafs. Okay? Is that our intellect dominates our actions, not our ego. Our feelings should not dominate our actions when it comes to truth and when it comes to duty, contracts, responsibilities. I think your heart should dominate your actions when you deal with people, individuals, okay, like your family members and stuff. You can't imagine you go to your family and you start treating your family like you start treating your family like contractually, right? Your son walks by, your daughter walks by. You don't have to say. You're not obligated to say salam. Oh, Dad, are you upset? No, I'm not obligated to say assalamu alaikum. It's sunnah. If I want to do it, I can do it. If I don't have to. Right? So you don't deal with your family like that. You don't deal with your neighbors like that. But in other matters of truth, that's how you deal with things. Okay, so that was, it's nice to see someone enter Islam. It's always good to see. You want to show us something, Omar? Okay, if you want to show us something, you could. No problem. Michaela Community School in Wembley has prevented Muslim pupils from praying. There are 3,000 people who signed a petition online complaining. I don't like complainers, but they're complaining about the behavior of a school which currently provides no prayer facility. They got so many Muslims in these countries, they got to be able to pray. It is alleged that the teachers have interrupted Muslim students while they were praying and have disciplined them by suspension or expulsion. Yeah, I agree with him this time around that there's no excuse for this stuff in England when your numbers of Muslims, especially this is Wembley, which is North London, right? 5 Pillars, you got to stop with the pop-ups, seriously. 5 Pillars got pop-ups. You go on their website and an annoying thing pops up and they hide the X. Do you think this is going to make people sign up for your email list and endear people to you? I know, by the way, I know the brother who runs this thing.
Should bring him on.
Yeah, let's bring him on. He's a great guy. I don't know if he made the website or not, but I'm sure he's involved in it. But the pop-up thing has to stop. Put it up. Yeah, why not? Yeah, that's it. So this online petition makes allegations that last Thursday students were performing salah in the schoolyard on their own mats when a teacher approached them and said, "Stop praying." This is excellent. You know why? Because when you tell someone to stop, they're just going to do it more. If that kid was like 50-50, now he's 100%. Right? That's why I'm telling you, Allah's actions, right? He achieves his will in ways that would be forbidden for us. Okay? But that's not forbidden for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Christians say God works in mysterious ways, right? So the teacher said, "You need to leave your Islamic cultures alone." This is the West. Where is she? What the world? What, he's not 1993 or something to say something like that. What world is she living in? Before telling them they're not allowed to pray and put out mats in the school. You're going to get detention, she said, if they repeat this behavior. One of the students praying was then excluded, according to the petition. It is further alleged that the teacher told students to fix their hijab and previously told another student that her religious headscarf looks like a cape. That's why you got to go to all Muslim schools. Why put your kids through this? Haram, right? It's actually forbidden to put your kid in this tension. Kids are not made for tension. They're not ready for spiritual warfare. In another incident, according to the petition, students were praying in an empty classroom. Now, by the way, notice, don't forget, there are non-Muslim kids watching. Okay? They themselves may be like, oh, this is a bit extreme. Let the people pray. They themselves may be, so you just, when a clash like this happens, you just don't know who's going to side with whom. Whereas that you would have never got their attention otherwise. In another incident, students were praying in an empty classroom when a teacher shouted at them, saying, "You're not allowed to pray. We don't know who you're praying to." These are not isolated incidents, but a repeated culture at the school. From segregating students that are fasting, making inappropriate comments about the World Cup, being in Qatar, and having an issue with students wearing Free Palestine badges. Okay. This is absolutely disgusting, they say. Our school prides itself on being multicultural, multi-faith, treating their Muslim students this way. What's worse is that the school is majority Muslims, and there's no prayer room for them. I said send them to Islamic schools. The public school in this area is majority Muslim. All right, students have requested a prayer room, but they have been refused, and they have to go pray outside. 5 Pillars understand that students are demanding that the school provides them with a prayer room and allows them to practice their religion freely. England is something else, man. Scottish Prime Minister, First Minister, more than 50% Muslims in the school. I was just pulling up the next story for us, by the way. One parent who has 2 children at the school told 5 Pillars that he was told of an incident where up to 5 children were suspended for praying in the playgrounds. Hold on a second. If it's lunchtime and I wanted to do yoga, okay, would I get suspended? Right? If I wanted to do yoga while singing an Arabic song, would I get suspended? So what is going on here? He's moving his body and uttering Arabic phrases to himself. The other is moving his body and uttering Arabic phrases to himself. What's the difference? Is this a war of beliefs? Or if I'm on the playground and I got 20 minutes of recess, why can't I put my head on the ground? What's the problem with that? It is my understanding that the school has suspended these students, not due to the fact that they were praying, but due to the fact that they did not respond to the teachers while they were praying. What are you, Firaun? Right? You're only allowed to pray if I permit you to pray. You know that's what Firaun said to the magicians, right? You believe without asking me first, right? The school does not provide prayer facilities in the school, the parent said. Another source told 5 Pillars. Wait a second. So the teacher has to be able to talk to the student at every moment. They can't even not talk for 5 minutes. Hard to believe. It doesn't even take 5 minutes to pray. Students are being prevented from practicing their religion, and they're expelled. This is a blatant manifestation of Islamophobia if I've ever seen one. It's totally unacceptable. It's Ramadan, and they still continue to act this way. School claims that they are secular, and yet they celebrate Christmas every year. They are reportedly telling students to leave their faith at home. This is completely unacceptable, says another person. All right? These children live in a free country where they have the right to practice their religious traditions, blah, blah, blah. 5 Pillars approached the Michaela Community School, okay, and they have not responded. However, the school sent a text message to parents saying, untrue allegations have been made about the school resulting in death threats. Oh, stop this stuff. Anytime anyone wants to get away with something, they say, oh, be careful, he's suicidal. Oh, he got death threats. And it's a lie. Sources have told 5 Pillars that teachers told students they have received death threats, and they're risking their lives by teaching there. Good. Resign and teach somewhere else with less Muslims. You'll get in less trouble. Or next time when you have Muslims, behave. Right? Treat them properly. right? If it's such a risk to teach there. We have also been told that teachers gave speeches about how the petition showed students were not willing to sacrifice enough for the school. Why would I sacrifice for the school? Kids hate school. You're supposed to hate school if you're normal, right? Individual students were also pulled out of classrooms and asked if they had signed the petition, and then shouted at if they had. They also told students that they did not deserve trips. Oh, we're getting petty now. Canceling the school trip to the Statue of Liberty. No Statue of Liberty for you. Where did you guys go for school trip? Statue of Liberty? My one kid's class was they were so bad that their class trip was to the bowling alley because the teachers felt they didn't deserve a class trip. They also told students that they did not deserve these trips. Students were told if anyone asked to pray, they would go to detention. What is this? The Michaela School is one of the most high-profile schools in the country. And head teacher Catherine Birabal Singh has made numerous media appearances. On its website, the school says that its last Progress 8 score placed best school in the nation. It says we have high expectations of behavior. Why? Because without excellent discipline, learning cannot take place. Well, learn to accommodate Muslims because they're just not going to stop. Pupils at Michaela feel that they are treated fairly and justly, she says. Thanks to our high expectations, it means learning can flourish. Visit any classroom, and you will see hands sky high, eager to answer teachers' questions. No, please. Teachers are polite and helpful, with a genuine interest in helping their peers. Our motto is, work hard, be kind. We value kindness at Michaela, blah, 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 blah. All sorts of nonsense. Okay. At Michaela, children don't just learn a lot, they become better people. I just want you to teach them. I'll do the better person part. You just teach them writing, reading, and math. Isn't that what it is? Writing, reading, arithmetic, the 3 R's. Okay. All right, what's the next story, Oz?
So it's been going around. I don't know if you want to talk about it in detail.
Yeah. What is it?
About the Times Square. The imam who led the Tarawih.
Yeah.
He's a well-known reciter.
Yep.
I won't say his name here.
Why? He did it in public.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
Fath.
Wait, no. It was Dr. What's his name?
No, it's Fath. So
I thought it was that doctor, that African-American doctor.
maybe they led partially.
Okay, who do you want me to read it from?
No, it was just on Twitter. I didn't see any particular thread.
Okay, so
But,
keep talking. His mic's on, right? Okay, go.
There have been accusations against him, and it seems like quite a bit from a lot of different people, to the point I don't think he's even in Texas anymore. He was in Texas for a while. And
Everyone's in Texas.
yeah,
Okay.
and I think that I don't even know if he's still in Texas, but multiple communities and a whole range of things. Now, there's no court case that's been filed against him.
Okay.
However, at the same time, many of the different masajid and the different figures, they disassociated themselves. I had heard about this maybe a year ago or 2 years ago about
COVID,
these. Yeah. Or like even during COVID, I think a lot of this stuff came out. Must have been in like 2020, 2021, something like that. So what are people supposed to do? Like,
Okay. First of all, forget Times Square, Salah, for a second. Get the picture up, but we'll talk about the. There's got to be a better picture, I think, right?
That's a video.
Oh, it's a video. Okay, good. Fine. We'll show the video in a second. But first of all, when it comes to that specific brother, Fatah, his videos were pretty popular a while back, which is fine. It's just good, except some of the tajweed was wrong. Up a little bit more. Yeah, that's good. Okay, the tajweed was wrong. That's the first thing.
right.
So if you want to be a reciter and you want to recite, that is, to me, one of the best ambitions you could have. I support it 100%. Because the more Quran is recited, the better. But you got to get the tajweed right. So that's the first thing. Secondly, whenever all sorts of accusations are going around about somebody, then what do we do about it? Well, what do we do about it? From which perspective? as a listener? No, I'm going to listen. Simple. Like all sorts of rumors are going around about somebody. I just want to listen to them on YouTube. I'm listening, right? Rumor means nothing to me. Okay? It's just a rumor. It's hearsay. As a listener, if I'm picking up a book, okay, and they say, oh, the author of this book did such and such, okay? Well,
Right.
if it's a crime, it's a crime. But if it's an Islamic book, if it's accurate, I'm going to read it. That's what I care about, right? As a reader, as a listener. All right, what about as you run a masjid?
Yeah.
Or an organization like Safina's side? No, it's a different rule now. It's different now.
Mm-hmm.
If there are rumors going about you, I can get burned by that, by my association with you. So I'm not going to associate with you.
Right. That's within your right to do so. You don't have to bring on someone who's associated with this stuff.
100%. If I just didn't feel like associating,
Exactly.
I don't have to associate. So, but to save myself now
Right.
from, being associated with someone who may have like oppressed somebody, may have done something wrong, then there's no need for this, right? So I'm not going to associate with him. That's what I recommend. If my son is hanging around with some guy and all the people talking about this guy and he does this, that, and the other, I'm going to say, look, your reputation is at risk now. We care about reputation, right? Sharia requires us to care about reputation.
Right.
So no one associates you with something bad. So don't put yourself in a situation where you could be accused of supporting him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just rumors. Okay, well, when the rumors die down and disappear, then you can be with them, but do not associate with the person until their name is cleared, which is different from a false rumor, which, for example, went around about the Prophet ﷺ. False rumors. Like, clearly we know it's false. But these rumors about sexual assault allegations or whatever it is, these rumors can never be known to be true or false, right? For example, that's where we have to also separate two types of rumors. Rumors that are clearly false. It's not rumor in that, it's slander. You're just slandering the person.
Right.
Or rumors that we'll never know if it's true or false. So this is actually a very important segment here. Learning how do we as interact with somebody who had scandals.
Right.
So again, that's the case, by the way. Omar, good call. We're the top there. Adnan Syed, we're covering that today. Okay.
Yeah.
So does that make sense? You have to splice it up.
Yeah.
Sheikh al-Buti, they say all sorts of things about him. Okay.
Right.
All sorts of things about him. I'm reading his books and listening to his lectures. I don't care what anyone says. Sheikh Ali Juma's old books. This gold.
We have one right here.
That's my book.
This
Yeah.
he wrote the
Is this mine or
tahqiq.
yours?
This is yours.
This tahqiq. All right, with the commentary, small comments, right, by Ali Juma
It's pretty good.
of Jawharat al-Tawheed. Is there going to be any other sounder book in Aqidah than this? So what came later in his life, politically, and some of the fatwa he gave later in life, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Now, if I have listeners, if I have students, I would make sure, though, probably will not cite him publicly, so that the general viewership will then lump you into that group or that. Okay? But privately among students of knowledge, yeah, no problem. Because students of knowledge should know better that just because I'm citing his book does not mean I support all his other things, right? So I'm not going to go into what he said, but suffice it to say that some people agreed with it and some people didn't. So it split the community in half, right? So I don't want to go there. Okay, I don't want to go there.
Now, there's some people where they want to take it a step further. And what they say is that if you stay silent, then what you're doing is that you're inherently, like implicitly, you're supporting an oppressor. And the idea that, like, this type of, or, like we can't get our justice, or the victims, or the alleged victims, they can't get their justice in a court of law because of statute of limitations and this and that.
Yeah.
So what do we have now? The only thing that we could do is raise awareness and tell people, and warn people against him and stuff like that. But it seems like this is very, very close first of all, does this have a part to play in the Sharia? And second of all, like, it seems very close to like slander and qadhf. So I know if, you know, like I heard someone, I was arguing with them yesterday about this, where they just flat out said it. They said, people need to know that he is a serial rapist. And I said, wait, just
Where's the proof?
hold on a second.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, did you go and did you verify these for yourself, or did you read a report from a group online? And, you know, let's not even begin to talk about that group, because that group has some strange connections to begin with. Now, let's say that the allegations and whatnot, it's like whatever. But say let's turn it and let's pretend that this was a woman, and we said that this woman is a serial rapist. Or let's not even say that let's say that there was consent involved. And all we said, without verification, we just said that this woman likes to sleep around. That's 80 lashes right there, because that's qadhf.
And her reputation is...
And her reputation is destroyed. Now, perhaps because it's a man, it does make a difference, right? A woman's reputation is not like a man's reputation.
Correct, yeah.
But there still has to be, you know, it's similar, is it not?
Yeah. So, I mean, I look at it like this. If a person openly says something that is explicit, that's why I have to separate between, you got to separate between three things. A theological position, which you can put pen to paper on, and we could say, here, this is what you said, and this is why you say it. Now we could say, no, you're totally right, you're totally wrong, right? Or, it's valid, but I disagree. That's one thing. The other thing is a political position. That's political positions. Everyone has their own facts. Everyone has their own argument in politics. It's very hard to clearly state that someone's right or wrong in politics. Okay. Thirdly, women-related issues and money-related issues. We don't see the evidence, right? It's claims. He stole from me. He touched me, right? It's claims. So does that mean, just because we say there's not, I can't really say he's guilty, does that mean he's innocent? No, doesn't mean he's innocent, right? So clearly something's going on. There's no smoke without any fire, right? This is not one allegation, right? It's not one or two allegations.
Right.
So I'm going to stay away from the person. In all circumstances, I'm going to stay away from the person without having to say anything, unless it's a theological issue where he puts pen to paper, and I can say, hey, everyone, look, it's right here. He said it. And this is wrong, and this is an innovation, and you have to stay away from him and stop reading his book. That is explicit, right? That's my position. I don't know Adam, but that's what I've arrived at, just by using basic Sharia principles and logic. And the basic point of logic is we need to be able to assess. We need to be able to assess the facts. In any investigation, what do they say? Here's the first thing they say. What are the facts here? In political positions, facts are very tenuous, right? It's really hard to say who's 100% right and who's 100% wrong, right? In personal allegations, it's even harder, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess people, they kind of wonder, like, if we lived in a perfect world, or by perfect world I mean that we lived in a government where the Sharia was implemented and, you know, everything like that, everyone followed it, what exactly would be done about an individual like this, and what is the public supposed to do?
The women who are accusing this individual, they should have come forth right away, right? And then he could be taken care of, right? That's the key in Sharia. You either show a proof of harm or you come up right away. But what is not acceptable in Sharia is that you come later with no proof. That's a problem. In Sharia, that's very weak. You're not going to get far with that.
Right.
So you either come up right away, okay?
Yeah.
Or you bring hard evidence. Either one or the other.
Now, this is a little bit more of a, I guess, like a touchy subject.
Yeah.
But say we're living in the time of the Sharia, and a man and a woman, they decide to do zina. And what happens is that the woman is expecting something out of the man, you know, like in terms of zina.
Yeah.
But then, say the guy takes advantage of her, and like, you know, he does something where in reality neither of them should have been doing this to begin with.
Yeah.
But now he really injures and he harms her. Does the woman have any recourse, or like?
So repeat the story again.
They do zina,
Yeah.
right? And both of them are complicit in this.
They're complicit in zina.
It's not like she got raped per se.
Yeah.
But like in the beginning, she agreed. Let's say it's, you know, they're in a haram relationship and they took it to the level where they do zina. But then the guy, you know, like he becomes very abusive.
I think that's what happens in most rape cases. The consent
Yeah.
was to a certain level
Yes.
of zina
Right.
or of relations, and then
Yeah.
the guy got out of control and
Yeah.
harmed the woman.
Yeah, which seems to me like in a lot of these cases, like accusations that come against Muslims, they're kept quiet for a while.
Yeah.
And you know, when you read the story, it seems as if in the beginning the woman is the one who initiated something.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and there was a level of a haram relationship, or the guy DMs her.
Yeah.
This happens a lot, and I'm not just saying one case. Wallahu alam. This happens a lot. The guy DMs her. She could block him, but she responds, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going. And then eventually the woman, she realizes, you know, this is a little bit more than what I asked for. And then after that, say, well, whatever happens, happens. Then the person, you know, they emotionally manipulate, if that's such a thing, or emotionally abusing, you know, the woman, and, you know, basically manipulating her into sex and things like this.
All this stuff we can only again, let's look at it from the perspective of the law and the perspective of individuals.
Right.
Right? From the perspective of the law, it's very hard to make your case. You need evidence to make your case.
Right.
Okay. From the perspective of individuals, tawatur, multiple accusations, it starts to matter.
Right.
Multiple accusations, even without any proof, but multiple without any proof starts to matter. I would simply because at that point, why would you, unless you have proof that this person, you're certain that this person is innocent of all these and someone is conspiring against them, why would you put yourself next to this person? Right?
Yeah.
That's the question. So if there's a speaker and a khatib and multiple accusations go off against him, why would I invite him? And just invite controversy in our masjid, right?
Right.
I'm not obligated to invite him in the first place, so I would stay away from the person. So you got to separate between the law and personal social interactions.
Right.
The law takes a lot to make someone guilty. Even in our society here, there are Netflix documentaries about people, yet the law could not be able to nail them.
Right.
There are Netflix documentaries about people who committed stuff like this, right? All sorts of crazy stuff. Millions of people watch these documentaries, yet the courts have not been able to put them behind bars. But there's the law of public opinion, the court of public opinion. Our guidance on this is to stay away from somebody who has rumors floating around them, right? That rumors of harm floating around them. If you know it's a false rumor, I would say about him is like defamation. Someone defames you as an extremist. Someone defames you as
Right.
Someone who's an extreme person. That's just defamation. We could look at your words and assess ourselves whether you're that or not. Does this make sense? I think that's the right breakdown.
Right.
The law requires hard evidence, but me as a person, I don't require hard evidence. I could simply not associate with somebody because I'm going to be now the court of public opinion. You lost.
Are we obliged? Say, for example, I see something on social media saying, this is the story of the victim. Share this story so that the victim can get visibility and stuff like that.
How do I know it's a victim?
Yeah. So
See,
what am I supposed to?
It's their claim. No.
Is it even permissible for me to spread that?
I think you have to know it's a fact in order to spread it. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because Melody 21 saying something good. He said, in the court, you're innocent until proven guilty. in the court of law, you're innocent until proven guilty. In the court of public opinion, you're guilty until proven innocent.
Right.
Like if you're gonna be close to somebody, as get married to somebody, befriend somebody, move in with somebody, hire somebody, all those categories of people, guilty until proven innocent. Like Omar says, I'm gonna bring someone today. Okay, well, who is it? Right? Who is it? I need to know who it is. Right? Once Omar says, no, I'm vouching for him. I said, okay, fine. You're vouching for him. A random stranger wants to come and hang out with us in the studio. No, who is he? I don't know who he is. He could be some crazy person. So the court of, in social life, family life, you're guilty until proven innocent. So I'm staying away from it.
Right.
So I would not have brought someone with all these rumors swirling around them into the masjid to speak or to lead salah.
Now, if a masjid does, like, are they?
If they do that,
Yeah.
they're going to get the ire that they get. Maybe they have really had victims. Then you deserve the ire, all the ire that you get.
Yeah.
Then the people who are hurt by that person will hate you, and you deserve that hate because you brought it up on yourself.
Yeah.
There is, remember, we're talking about moral flaws here. We're not talking about defamation and false rumors about people.
Now, if I'm a personal victim of something, can I go out in public and say this person did such and such to me?
If you can't get justice in the court of law, then yes, you are permitted to do that. Proof being that the Prophet ﷺ received a case like this. And the Prophet ﷺ said to him, take your furniture, put out in front of your house, and if people ask you, why are you doing this? Say, my neighbor is harming me. The Prophet ﷺ said this. Okay? My neighbor is harming me.
Right.
Remember when we had a guy causing all sorts of trouble in NBIC? Splitting up friendships and causing all sorts of fitna you cannot imagine. There's nothing like legal that he was doing wrong.
Right.
But he was causing harm.
Right.
And the people, we got together and said, what are we going to do? We're going to issue a statement. We issued a statement. We emailed it to all the local masajid, and we read this statement out loud after Aisha to everybody. We said, so there is an individual, such and such, such and such. His name is such and such. This is what he does. Stay away from him. And the message, we are dissociated from him.
Right.
And then we emailed that to all of the local masajid. That's where there's no legal thing that he broke that we can prove that he did wrong. But we can win in the court of public opinion.
Right.
By just spreading this word. And if your previous record is that you're always honest and you tell the truth, right? Then
so, I have to ask.
Yeah.
Now the person, they can say, they can tell the public that this is what has been done to me. Now, what if we were just to take that one step further and then one step further? Let's say that, what about the family? The family believes the victim. So the family can, say that this is what's happened.
Yeah, they can.
And now what about the advocates of the family? So where exactly is the line drawn? Because a lot of people, they're like, you have a platform.
Yep.
You should be, and really, in reality, we're on the other side of the country. But, people, they're going to say, oh, you have a platform. Why don't you say something to support the victims and condemn them? So where exactly does it stop? Where if I can do it, if I'm the victim and I can speak out in public, who can't speak out in public?
The one who can't speak out in public, that's a very good question. Where is the limit? What we can say is that if you know this victim, right? You know this victim,
right,
and you can vouch for them, then you could speak about it, right? I know this victim, but a cold call, a cold call. Hey, I'm a victim.
Right.
I want you to go and bash so-and-so on your stream.
Right.
I don't know you. I'm sorry to tell you that. Oh, you don't sympathize with me? I do not know you. Okay?
Right.
And I don't know if what you're saying is true or false. Okay? But if it's somebody that, let's say it's your someone you know, and you can vouch for them, then their honesty, right? Then yeah, you can speak about it. No problem. Okay? So we have to draw these lines because otherwise we have chaos. Now, what about the organizations out there that take the information from these victims and spread it? That organization needs to have a strong record in the society. Any organization, like there's a couple. In Wolf's Clothing,
Yeah.
is one of them. Face is one of them. Who else does this?
Those are the two that I
Those are
know.
two. I'm not going to pass an assessment. I'm not going to do a jarh and ta'dil on them right now because I don't have the information.
Right.
I've heard things said here and there, but I don't do jarh and ta'dil on those organizations. I'm not going to do that. But what I can say is that in order for people to believe you, you need to have won over the trust of those people, of your audience. That's
Right.
it. That's a general rule. That's the only rule. Like, why do I believe the Better Business Bureau, not Reddit? If I'm going to learn about a business that I want to, bring into my house to do a big job, I'm going to go to the Better Business Bureau. The reviews there tend to be more reliable than, let's say, other websites. So reliability is the key. Trust is the key in these things. So that's the story on how we handle. All right. So I see Sabah Khwaja's question. Yeah, there have been things said about face, but I'm not going to do jarh and ta'dil. Jarh and ta'dil is like when you assess an individual, because it's not the organization we're assessing. It's just a name. It's the people who run the organization, right? That's why I actually don't like when an organization issues a statement or a fatwa or something. Whoa, who are you? It's just a name. Don't cover it. Pull that off. Put your faces up, which they do. They're not hiding who they are. We all know who they are, right? So I'm not in the position. I'm not going to do that jarh and ta'dil on them. But that's the general rule: is that they need to develop trust with the people, with the people that they're talking to. Simple as that. Once they're trustworthy, and then they say, "Guys, we assessed that this sheikh has victimized so and so. This woman has been abusive to this employee. This person has done that." Then we could trust them. Okay, simple as that. That's how simple it is. So there's a court of law and there's a court of public opinion. Are we done with this subject, or is there more to say? That covers a lot of different questions about it, right? Now let's go to the video of the Tarawih in Times Square, which, as we said, is one of those things that people have debated back and forth, but ultimately, now that it's happening, I personally hope to see it grow and move on and expand, because I think the salah, dhikr everywhere is good. Okay. All right, let's hear this. Volume? TV volume, us? Up, up, up. Turn your mic on. Okay. 2,000 people attended. That's nice. Oh, that's it? Okay. Good. Good. So they did it for the second time. Did this weekend. And it's run by social media influencer SQ. Another guy who's not using his name. Is that his name, I guess? Way of life. I love these now, this Muslim thing where they don't have names. Right? Anyway, looks like he's a dad. Is he an imam, like, or what? All right, fair enough, no problem. He did it in collaboration with Giving Back and Droplets of Mercy. Delia Tariq attended with family and friends, said it was important to provide this space for people to ask questions about Islam in an open and welcome environment. It's a brilliant idea, to be honest with you. When you start seeing the benefits. I think the fact that it's happening in the busiest part of the city, busiest part of the world probably too. I hope it still keeps happening every year. It's growing, all right? I guess he does it on the first, what does he do it on the first Saturday of the month of Ramadan? The first Saturday night, I think he does it on. Okay. So, huh? All right, tell me when you're ready. At sunset, Quran reciters Faisal Latif and Dr. Faraj Hassan. That's the brother that I see's Instagram all the time, Dr. Faraj Hassan. Led the prayers and began breaking their fasts. Okay. They distributed more than 2,000 meals. That's wonderful, right? Motivational speakers, Muhammad Abdul Alim, also known as Hoop Finesse. Another one with these names. Faduma Muhammad, a.k.a. Speak Pure. Okay. I guess you have to have a name these days.
Unfortunately, it's because of TikTok and
Yeah.
social media, where it's a lot of these imams, like, they're not even invited anymore because we could get a TikToker for half the price and double the reach.
Crazy. Of course, Islamophobia is on the rise. Our religion is one of the most misunderstood religions, but it's also the fastest growing, says SQ. The event held under the bright neon lights of New York. All right. Under all these advertisements in Times Square is an opportunity for Muslims to come together and help people learn about Islam. A projector displays verses from the Quran with English translation. Wow. Yamin Kazadri of Muslims Giving Back said the event was an example of dawah through action. You don't just preach, but they get to see you pray, and then you give out food and you answer questions. You don't just say dawah or do dawah to people by pushing pamphlets, blah, blah, blah. Very good, very good. Heiko Jaspers, who was visiting New York from Germany, stumbled. See, that's what I'm saying. This guy, Heiko Jaspers, from Germany, is writing a poem or something, a haiku. He stumbled across the event while walking through Times Square. He'd never seen anything like it before. That's exactly the point of such events. It's a good idea to do it in public so everyone can look and understand, said the tourist. Okay? All right, let's see your video. Omar Abbas, you pulled up a video for us. Let's see. It's long, but we'll go through it.
Collect your thought. It's on that side. Please make your way safely around over there, please. Jazakumullah khair. Jazakumullah khair. Please go grab the food. Where's Farah?
Yeah, you can skip a little bit. All right, that's the... Oh, it rained on the poor people. Too bad. Windy. Look at the wind. Wow.
Tarawih is a religious prayer for Muslims held in the month
That's
of Ramadan,
him, right?
which is the 30 days of fastings that Muslims do. In 30 days, the Muslims recite from cover to cover of the Holy Quran. So that's what we're here to do right now. We're trying to show the world the beauty of the Quran and how gorgeous it sounds, because once it hits your ears, it goes to your heart. And we're trying to open the hearts of the people tonight by having this amazing event. And I appreciate everyone who showed up and showed us some love. Islam is advice. It is sincere advice given to mankind. And that advice is, there's nothing worthy of worship except Allah. And the Prophet Muhammad, along with Jesus, Moses, Abraham, and all the messengers mentioned by Allah are all prophets of God. And this is the religion. So that's what Islam means to me.
Best. We're in Times Square. Assalamu alaikum. MashaAllah, barakallah. So there's a few minutes left.
Let's go to the
So break
salon.
our fast for a few minutes.
See it? Oh, okay, that's it then. I was just reciting.
Make
Hold on.
dua.
Then they give some speeches, right?
Alright, assalamu alaikum. استووا واعتدلوا تراصوا وسدوا القلب. الله أكبر.
This guy's got his Haramain vibes on, right? Totally. So how many people? Is it like 1,000 people maybe? 500 people? Yeah. Okay. Is this their official video, by the way? Is there any dawah that happened afterwards? I'm interested in the permit. This thing.
Yeah, I wonder how
Yeah. I mean, Khalid Latif is the police chaplain. Maybe he's involved, helping them get the permit.
But we're here to let you know that we hate. We're Muslim. Alhamdulillah. Say Alhamdulillah. No. Hold on. Stop it.
This guy has energy.
Let's try that.
Yeah.
Say Alhamdulillah. Allah barakallah.
All right, so I think it's a great event. What do you think, Us? Should we have a Mawlid there? Hey, learn about the Prophet, peace be upon him. What's wrong with that?
That's more appropriate to do in like a place like that.
Then Salah?
Yeah, because Salah is something that
Has a hurma to it.
yeah.
Okay, so Adnan Syed is the last segment of our affairs of the Ummah today. Okay. It's pretty sad what's going on with Adnan Syed. Now, Adnan Syed, as you know, in 1999, his friend, I guess it was his girlfriend at the time, Heyman Lee, down in Maryland, she disappeared and she was found dead. Right? She was found dead. And they accused him of the murder. And he went to jail for many, many years. Okay? And only last year, so now last year was 2023, he was exonerated. Okay? So he spent 24 years in jail. Okay? Now we have a story. Okay? CNN.com has reported that his murder conviction is reinstated. Let's just see exactly what they mean by this. A Maryland appellate court on Tuesday reinstated the conviction of Adnan Syed, the man who spent over 2 decades behind bars for supposedly, allegedly, killing Heyman Lee, which I don't, you may have all heard of the landmark Serial podcast. Okay. You listen to the whole thing. It was addictive at the time. I remember being with 2015 or something. Everyone was listening. The podcast came out Thursday. By Thursday night, everyone had listened to it. In a 2-1 ruling, the appellate court said the lower court had violated the rights of the victim's brother, Young Lee. Okay. Which was what was his right? To attend a key hearing when a judge vacated Syed's conviction, leading to his release. Because the circuit court violated Mr. Lee's right to notice of this, and his right to attend, they did not inform him that he had the right to attend. So the hearing, therefore, on the state's motion to vacate, okay, was now invalidated. This court has the power and the obligation to remedy those violations, as long as we can do so without violating Mr. Syed's right to be free from double jeopardy. Double jeopardy means to be tried of the same case twice. We remand for a new, legally compliant and transparent hearing on the motion to vacate. Now he has to win this motion a second time, this time with the brother there. Okay, so what does this look like to me? It looks like to me that the brother's lawyer, the brother was angry at this, had the lawyer look into it and said, hey, okay, we want to redo this. And they found an error that he should have been there. That's the error that they found. Okay. We remand for a new legally compliant and transparent hearing on the motion to vacate, where Mr. Lee is given notice of the hearing and sufficient time to allow him to attend in person. Okay. Evidence supporting the motion to vacate is presented, and the court states its reason in support. So he still may be free, but what they have to do is that they have to actually redo the motion, essentially. The Lee family is very pleased with the ruling. So the Lee family believes it's him who did it. That's always what happens. Like, the family of the victim gets attached to who they think did it. Well, why don't you let the court decide? Yeah, they hate him. But here's the thing. Why did you believe that why do you believe he did it? because the court found him guilty, right? Well, now the court's telling you he wasn't guilty. So why don't you believe the court the second time? I see it all the time. Families, they get just attached to their theory of who did the killing. Yeah,
so in their head,
that's
like,
true.
okay, someone's in jail, right?
Exactly.
Even if it's not him, they're like coping with that.
Yeah.
Now we have
Which is a lie, though. You're lying to yourself. So it's also like a massive calamity for them to now believe that he was actually innocent all these years. That means just the killers. I bet you the killer's already in jail on some other thing, because I think the real killer in this thing was someone who was he killed multiple people. There was this theory that there's this third party, and this person, he was raping strangers, right?
is very fishy.
And his DNA. Yeah, that guy, Jay.
Jay.
Yeah, he was fishy. We think it really represents a step towards transparency and rule of law. You can't have a trial by podcast or a trial by publicity, Kelly said, contending the popular judicial process was not followed. It's in everyone's interest, including Mr. Syed's, to have all the evidence aired publicly. Okay. And she said that the Lee family is not vengeful. We just want the truth. If Adnan is not the guy, then we want him out. Okay, that's a good statement. David Sanford, another Lee family attorney, similarly told CNN the family was delighted with the court's decision and the order for a transparent hearing where the evidence will be presented openly. Do the family think that there's some people in Maryland court who are trying to get Adnan out for personal reasons? Syed's attorneys say he will remain a free man. Okay, so Assistant Public Defender Erica Suter, Syed's attorney and director of the Innocence Project Clinic, said the appellate court reinstated the conviction not because the motion to vacate was erroneous, but because Mr. Lee's brother did not appear. That's it. We agree with the dissenting judge that the appeal is moot and that Mr. Lee's attendance over Zoom was sufficient. He did attendance over Zoom, but not in person. So what's the big deal? Suter said in a statement provided to CNN, all right, there is no basis for re-traumatizing Adnan by returning him to the status of a convicted felon. For the time being, he is a free man. We remain optimistic that justice will be done. We intend to seek review in Maryland's highest court and will continue to fight until Adnan's convictions are fully vacated. Now, why was it vacated in the first place? The decision to vacate Syed's conviction came 8 years after the podcast dug into the case and raised questions about the conviction and Syed's legal representation. In explaining her decision to vacate, Baltimore City Circuit Judge Melissa Finn cited material in the state investigation that was not properly turned over to the defense attorneys, as well as the existence of two suspects who may have been improperly cleared as part of the investigation. By the way, Adnan's defense lawyer, she was a disaster. She was a complete disaster. Adnan's defense lawyer. If you listen to the podcast, she's dead now, right? But if she was alive, she would be sued because she was an utter disaster. Why victim's brother wanted a redo of the hearing? Lee's brother had requested a redo of the hearing, arguing in part that he didn't have enough notice to attend in person. The attorneys for Lee, who was able to watch the September proceeding by Zoom, previously alleged in court documents that prosecutors and the circuit court that overturned Syed's convictions had violated the brother's rights. That happened, they alleged, by failing to give him adequate notice, blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's it. It seems to me like a last-ditch effort to just get him back, and I don't think they're going to win it because they got to rehash everything now. Okay. All right, we only have time for a couple questions because we got University of Toronto today. At 3 o'clock, you can follow the University of Toronto. Do you want to do Darul before that? Yes. Turn the camera to Oz, or do you want to just come here?
We don't want them to see the mess.
Yeah. All right, speak. It's okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so alhamdulillah, we have the great blessing to announce a new program And this is going to be open to everyone. So people nationwide, it is going to be an in-person program, but brothers especially, we want to reach out to you across the country. If you guys have time in summer, we are opening up a summer intensive, the first of its kind, inshallah. We did a local intensive, very, very similar to this last year, and it was a huge, huge success. We had roughly 80 students who came out, and it was actually quite long. It was 16 weeks. So based on the feedback that we received, there are some brothers who have the opportunity to come through, and we want to open this up to you guys and sisters as well. The thing is I'll get to that in a second. We don't have housing available. It's easier for brothers to find housing, which is why I'm talking specifically about brothers. But this is going to be a program where you get to see what Darul Fath is doing on a daily and weekly basis, and you get to cover real texts, real mutun that have been studied by the scholars and are typically studied. And this program is going to give you all of your fard ain, inshallah. The intention is that by the time you complete this program, you will have completed a text in fiqh, a text in aqidah, a text in hadith, the 40 hadith of Imam al-Nawawi, and you will have a lot of time spent with Dr. Shadi as well, going over tasawwuf. We haven't decided which tasawwuf text we're going to be studying, but it's going to be texts in all of your fard ain, inshallah. So in terms of the program, let me I can't actually see it. What are the dates? I'm very bad with dates.
Read it up, Omar.
Yeah.
It's from June 19th and then
Yeah.
August, I believe.
So it's going to start in June 19th. And the way that the program is going to work is that we designed it in a way that someone who's at school, say for example, you're taking classes at Rutgers, even though most people are off, or if you're working, if you have an internship or a job, or anything like that, then you finish work, you have time to eat, you finish work at 5:30, you have time to eat, to get ready, and at nighttime you're going to be coming in and you're going to be, for the next 3 hours, 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock, the classes are going to be offered, inshallah. And this is actually what the Darul Fath students are doing on a daily basis. So if you're interested in joining, it is quite intense, but to put this into perspective, to show you the work that we've been doing, alhamdulillah, for the past 7 or 8 months, almost a year, inshallah. It'll be a year in May. This is the work that we've been doing on a daily basis. These are the classes that are offered. And it'll also be an opportunity for you to mix with the Darul Fath students as well. So this is actually required course materials for the Darul Fath class, for the first class that we have. So in terms of fiqh, we're going to be offering two different options. One is going to be Maliki fiqh, that's going to be with Sheikh Harun. And we're also going to be offering Hanafi fiqh, which is going to be taught by both Sheikh Murad and Sheikh Imran. We're still working on some of the details, inshallah, but we can tell you everything that we know so far. In terms of Maliki fiqh, inshallah, we're going to be reading Kitab al-Akhdari, which is one of the beginner texts that covers everything. This is like pretty much the first text that you would study. But it has a lot to do, which is why we actually waited until the end of the year, because we wanted to do this text together. For example, for Maliki fiqh, we've already, alhamdulillah, last year we studied Ashmawiyya over the summer, which is another one of these beginner texts. Then we studied Ibn Ashir, and then we're going to be completing Azziyah. And then we're going to be coming back to Kitab al-Akhdari, inshallah. For Hanafi fiqh, you're going to be studying the book of Imam al-Maydani, Is'af al-Muridin. And for Aqidah, we're going to be offering, most likely it's going to be al-Barahin by Imam al-Sanusi, and we may have some classes on Aqidah al-Tahawiyya as well. And this is going to be taught by Sheikh Murad Uthman. And for Hadith, inshallah, we're very excited. This is the first Hadith class that we've done through Darul Fath. What we did is that in the beginning of the year, for Darul Fath students, we started with the science of Hadith. And now that we've covered the science of Hadith, we're going to be actually going into the texts of Hadith themselves. So we're starting with the text of Imam al-Nawawi, which is well known by everyone, and we're going to be giving commentary on that with Sheikh Murad and Sheikh Imran, and possibly Sheikh Harun and Dr. Shadi as well. We haven't worked out all of the details. And the Tasawwuf, we're going to be having both dhikr, And we're also going to be having classes that we do on Thursday with Dr. Shadi as well. So if you want to sign up right now is the best time to do so. It's $150 for Ramadan, inshallah. There is no online, so just keep that in mind. You can go on the website and you could sign up. You could go to darulfets.org/pay. And you can go on the social medias and look for the link. And there's some more information on the website as well. And the website will be continuously updated. But I do recommend sign up right now in Ramadan. Even, by the way, if you're a college student and you're not sure, will I be able to find a job, or, what will happen? What's my internship situation going to be like? Just sign up. It's $150. We'll refund you if you can't make it, but at least get your name in and make the sincere intention that you want to be here and join us, inshallah, in New Jersey. We're going to advertise this more and more, so definitely share this to your friends, to your family, anyone who's interested. And we want to make this into a very big thing. So, Dr. Shadi, you have anything to add to that?
No, it was a great experience for a lot of guys who came last time. And we have some good hosts here. If you want to come, we have, inshallah, ability to host you. And it's busy, constant, nonstop. It's literally nonstop. I think Saturday is the only day that we have that's off.
Yeah.
Right? But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And once Thursday hits, it's lights out. Thursday, Friday, Sunday. Right? So come by, inshallah, and it should be a good summer.
Inshallah.
We're on our now second year now.
Yeah.
This summer we're entering our second year of Darul Fath. It's just going to, inshallah, build more and more every time.
Yeah. And the program, it's not really just classes, it's also the community that you're joining. For example, last time that we did this program in the summer, everyone is off. We had a lot of time to sit with the mashayikh. We would hang out, here in the classrooms, in the library. We'd hang out with the mashayikh until 1 o'clock sometimes. It's a great opportunity for suhbah as well. Many people who I didn't know in summertime, they're one of my closest friends now because I see them on a daily basis. Every single day I'm seeing them. We're all involved in the same thing, which is to seek knowledge. But there's a lot that we do. There's, for example, the soup kitchen. If you want to volunteer, you can also do that. Every Wednesday we have the soup kitchen, and we have a lot of activities. We have the masjid right here as well, and there's always activities going on. Come for one of the famous Mawadda events as well.
Mawadda, we get you married.
Yeah.
And then there's also physical activities. They play basketball and they have frisbee football.
Yeah.
So you can actually stay very physically fit if you attend both of those.
Yeah. And so there's a group me, and I'm going to place the link on the website. I'll place the link everywhere, inshallah, where you can join. And for example, Sharif, he was our prototype student I don't know what to call it, like a transfer student, foreign student. And he came through last year, and he was here for the entirety of the summer. And he stayed with a bunch of guys from Rutgers. We have Rutgers off-campus housing right here. And he met the guys. He still takes some classes with us online. So it's a great opportunity. It's just the community that you're joining, inshallah. It's not just going to be 8 weeks of classes. It's going to be 8 weeks of joining the community. And inshallah, we're trying to take the steps to turn this into a full seminary, into a full theological college, inshallah. So there's a lot to do. And definitely spread the word everywhere that you can, on social media, word of mouth. And definitely recommend the program. If you're an ArcView student, then tell other people about this as well. Take this to the next level, inshallah.
All right, we'll close with dua for Wednesday. It is Wednesday. It is Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. In Ramadan, I lose my count of days. We'll do our dua, and then I don't know how to get onto the UT. If anyone from University of Toronto MSA is here, you need to just send me a WhatsApp message or something, because I don't know how to get onto the event. So they just send me the link, and then Omar Abbasi will plug us into that link, and we'll do that. But first, let's do our dua. لا إله إلا الله الملك الحق المبين 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 بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا فتحنا لك فتحا مبينا ليغفر لك الله ما تقدم من ذنبك وما تأخر ويتم نعمته عليك ويهديك صراطا مستقيما وينصرك الله نصرا عزيزا وكان عند الله وجيها في الدنيا والآخرة ومن المقربين وجهت وجهي للذي فطر السماوات والأرض بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نصر من الله وفتح قريب وبشر المؤمنين يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا أنصار الله كما قال عيسى بن مريم للحواريين من أنصاري إلى الله قال الحواريون نحن أنصار الله الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر سبحان الله عما يشركون هو الله الخالق البارئ المصور له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم وإذ نفسي بالله تعالى من كل ما يسمع بأذنين ويبصر بعينين ويمشي برجلين ويبطش بيدين ويتكلم بشفتين حصنت نفسي بالله الخالق الأكبر من شر ما أخاف وأحذر من الجن والإنس وأن يحضرنا زجاره وجل ثناؤه وتقدست أسماؤه ولا إله غيره اللهم إني أجعلك في نهور أعدائي وأعوذ بك من شرورهم وتحيلهم ومكرهم ومكائدهم أطفئ نار من أراد بعداوة من الجن والإنس يا حافظ يا حفيظ يا كافي يا محيط سبحانك يا رب ما أعظم شأنك وأعز سلطانك تحصنت بالله وبأسماء الله وبآيات الله وملائكة الله وأنبياء الله ورسل الله والصالحين من عباد الله حصنت نفسي بلا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم اللهم احرسني بعينك التي لا تنام واكنفني بكنفك الذي لا يرام وارحمني بقدرتك علي فلا أهلك وأنت ثقتي ورجائي يا غياث المستغيثين يا غياث المستغيثين يا غياث المستغيثين يا دارك الهالكين يا دارك الهالكين يا دارك الهالكين اكفني شر كل طارق يطرق بي ليل أو نهار إلا طارق يطرق بخير إنك على كل شيء قدير بسم الله أرقي نفسي من كل ما يؤذي ومن كل حاسد الله شفائي بسم الله رقيت اللهم رب الناس أذهب الباس اشفي أنت الشافي وعافي أنت المعافي لا شفاء إلا شفاؤك شفاء لا يغادر سقما ولا ألما يا كافي يا وافي يا حميد يا مجيد ارفع عني كل تعب شديد واكفني من الحدي والحديد والمرض الشديد والجيش العديد واجعل لي نورا من نورك وعز من عزك ونصرا من نصرك وبهاء من بهائك وعطاء من عطائك وحراسة من حراستك وتأييد من تأييدك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام والمواهب العظام أسألك أن تكفيني من شر كل ذي شر إنك أنت الله الخالق الأكبر صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه والحمد لله رب العالمين ظاهرا وباطنا وعلى كل حال يا أرحم الراحمين. Take a few minutes for dua before we close up. Sallallahu ala seyyidina Muhammed ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ve sellem. Subhane rabbike rabbil izzeti amma yasifun. Ve selamun alel murselin velhamdülillahi rabbil alemin.
Kalbe şifa ver Allah.